Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the St. Johns County Show that's on in the morning. Hope y'all are doing well this morning after one of the craziest weekends in American history.
God's sakes.
Wow.
That was, wow, man. We are going to get into it. I was watching this live. I sent this into the group text.
Yeah, I thought you were messing with us.
Everybody thought I was messing with them. Yeah. 'Cause
Not
there
me.
was nothing being reported. No, it was wild. It was horrifying to watch live. I mean, it really was. To be watching live as a former American president is almost shot to death on live TV. Unbelievable, man. So we will definitely talk about our reactions, what we see happening from here. You know, that Republican convention starting today.
Yep. Milwaukee, right?
Milwaukee. Yeah.
Milwaukee, hey.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It means dirty water. I don't know.
I'll talk to you about my experience going to one of these things, working at one of these things when Trump was president and when he and the vice president were there and what security looked like when I was there. I have to imagine it's a little different these days. And I know President Biden had said that there's not going to be many changes to the security out there, but I would have to imagine there still will be. But we'll talk about what that typically looks like. And of course, we've got some local news to get into here too. We've got a new apartment complex coming. Finally, we'll tell you where and why I'm saying finally.
All right.
We had a pretty big house fire over the weekend. St. Johns County Crews, of course, on it. We've got a wild moronic Monday story. I'll just say this has to do with Kim Kardashian.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's wild immediately. just
I'm
with that.
ready.
Yeah. We've got Salt Life stores closing, and folks from Ponte Vedra honored law enforcement over the weekend.
Oh, that's not... Thank you, Ponte Vedra, stepping up to the bar here. That's nice.
So we'll talk about what all that looked like, and a whole lot more. But we'll get started with our friends at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Since 1949, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been more than just a dealership. They are a family-owned beacon of trust right here in St. Augustine. They're founded on the principles. There's a lot of F's in this read.
Freedom!
They are founded on the principles of honesty, integrity, and community service. The Bozard family tradition continues to thrive through generations. They've got their state-of-the-art service facility, 91 climate-controlled service bays, and a quick lane, which means no appointment needed maintenance. Plus, you can enjoy the comforts of their customer lounge and the unique flavors of Ford's Garage Restaurant.
Finally.
Proud recipients of the prestigious Triple Crown Award and named Florida's Dealer of the Year by Dealerator. Their team dedicated to providing an enjoyable and efficient experience. Bozard Ford Lincoln offers the best in pricing, selection, and service. Visit Bozard Ford Lincoln today, just off I-95 and State Road 16, where your satisfaction is their mission, and they are driven to inspire.
That was fantastic.
Hey. So I got new teeth Friday. Got new teeth.
They look so good!
But it's like a temporary.
Yes.
So it's like
Yeah.
a plate, and there's no air that gets through the teeth. So my F's and my S's, or my F's and my V's are I'm getting used to this right now. Very hard to say F's and V's properly.
You whistle while you work?
No,
Oh.
none of that.
Yeah.
I'm just really trying to recoup my F's and my V's. I thought I was going to have a problem with my S's. My S's sound okay.
Yeah, S's are fine.
But the F's and the V's are tough, man, especially when they're back to back. All right. Anyway. Also, big shout out to our friends at Fidus Roofing. Great Expectations Realty and Auction. Chivon Toasted Subs. St. Augie's Pizza. BHF Insurance. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. Lace Med Spa. Griffin Services. BNS Signs. We'll talk about in a little while.
Now I'm going to be paying attention to all F's and V's
I
on
know,
this show.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, this is
I'm
awesome.
sorry.
I think it sounds worse to you.
Yeah.
Like you know, if you like got like a little bump on the cheek of your mouth, and you're just like, oh, it feels so huge. but
Yeah,
it's actually
yeah,
like
yeah.
No.
Nothing. You don't know what that means. You don't know what that.
I don't have any bumps. Ew, God.
You've never had a canker sore or anything?
Never, no.
What?
This is a fine-tuned engine over here.
That's...
I'll have
No one
bumps.
believes that. No one believes that. But it just
right.
I think it sounds worse to you because I really didn't pick up on the F's.
Well,
No,
my
me neither.
mouth gets caught up on the F's, and if I have to say an F and a V back to back, it's like gives me a
Fava beans.
gives me. No thanks. Whatever you just said,
No,
not trying.
Not
that.
trying it.
Not
Okay.
trying that, sir. All right, question of the day, Troy.
The question of the day: would you rather have free groceries for life or free gas for life?
A lot of F's in there.
Free. You don't give a F.
Finally, something free.
Yeah. I'm going to say free gas because I'm assuming if I get free gas, everybody gets free gas, or is it just me?
Don't
No,
make
I
us.
think- I
Don't
think it's just
assume.
you won this grand prize.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to switch and go free groceries. I was
Yeah.
going to say if the logic was that everybody gets free gas and the price of groceries would go down
Yeah.
because the
Yeah,
price
yeah,
of
good
gas
point.
doesn't exist.
Oh, okay. I see your logic.
But if it's only me,
Only
I'm
you.
going food.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
definitely
Only
going
you.
groceries.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
The way I eat, I'm going groceries all the way home. And I'm going to Whole Foods too. I'm going
Yeah,
real
right?
expensive, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And give me this bottom of the barrel. I don't need discount. Now I'm ready to pay full price.
There you go. What do you got, Troy?
And mine's got to be groceries too. I mean, I was at the grocery store yesterday, and I felt like the Indian in the 1970s commercial. A little tear came up.
Oh, yeah. We love those Native Americans. Yes, the commercials.
Remember that?
Yes.
Jeez, that was a famous commercial.
Very factual.
Actual.
Yeah.
But, mine's groceries. I mean, I easily spend $200 a week just on groceries.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, and I
Well,
don't,
you have a whole tribe. Good
Yeah.
gracious.
I don't spend that much on gas.
Surprised Blake's not on the front porch churning butter, like.
It's not a bad idea. Blake's in the back going, "Thanks, Dave."
I know,
Yeah,
right?
Active suggestions.
All right. Good question of the day. We got good answers in there. Let's go back to Troy for a quick check of the weather.
Scattered showers.
All right. A quick check of the weather comes to us from Great Expectations Realty and Auction. They can sell your home, your business, and everything in it. Check them out at geauction.com and gerealty.us. We take it back to the boys in the booth for the traffic report. What you got, guys?
We've got traffic and Richard Simmons.
Oh,
Rest in peace,
Richard
my
Simmons.
brother.
My mom used to watch those tapes all the time, sweating to the oldies.
Davey sent that groove message, and it actually was like, oh man, he was one of those ones. Like Simpsons had something on. He was one of those ones growing up that you always had a Richard Simmons joke, or at least paid homage to him. So
Yeah, he was everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah,
He was one of the most popular
icon.
guys of the 90s, I have to imagine.
him and Bowflex are the only things fitness-wise I can remember from my childhood.
Remember the Thigh Master?
I was
yeah.
gonna say Suzanne Summers.
Do not pan the camera, but shake weight. Remember those days?
Shake weight, yeah. Shake weight, yeah.
But honestly, Richard Simmons changed the absolute game. He has saved thousands of people out there, and he did not care about, what anybody said about him. He lived his life. He leaned into the intersection. He was an incredible, inspiring human being. So yeah, he will be missed. Yeah. Great shout out, guys.
Funny.
Yeah, man,
Funny.
that was sad. A lot
And
of
we lost Dr. Ruth too.
God, she was
Dr.
the
Ruth.
and Shelley Duvall and Shannon,
Shannon Doherty.
I
Oh,
can't believe
man.
Shannon Doherty.
Now she's up there with Jason Priestley, though. At least they're together.
Oh. Well, you're assuming both of them went to heaven.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're both down there together.
They may be, or one's in different places. Maybe they'll never see each other again.
Yeah. Davey, was it you that sent out the meme? It's so hot. It's something about I got to change my life because
Oh, yeah, I did.
I won't be able to handle hell.
I won't be able to handle hell. I've got to change my perspectives in life.
I can't handle the heat.
That's great. All right, traffic report comes to us from Alace Med Spa, where science meets tranquility. World-class treatment's going to transport you to a state of pure bliss, and their radiant skin facials will unlock your natural glow. For the perfect harmony of wellness and beauty, choose Alace Med Spa. Visit them online at alace.com and unlock your most beautiful you. All right. Boy, what something I just never really honestly thought we would see happen. Even though your guys like some of the big news commentators out there, I mean, Tucker Carlson predicted this would happen. A lot of people have been saying for months, this is the next step in in what's trying to be done to President Trump. And I mean, I'm not going to go that far. I don't know. I just have not paid much attention to national politics in a long time. I really haven't. But I was browsing through YouTube over the weekend and saw that there was a rally on. And really, I mean, it's like you see one of these rallies, you pretty much seen them all. They're very, very similar. So I'm not even sure why I turned this on to watch it, but I wasn't watching for 5 minutes. I mean, he came up on the screen a couple of minutes after watching this, and it was probably about 5 minutes into this. And he says something, he's showing a chart of immigration or something like that, and you start to hear the pops. You hear the pop, pop, pop. And the former president of the United States grabs his ear and goes down. Now, I remember my dad telling me when I was a kid about Secret Service protocol for if there is an incident like this that happens. And to watch it live, to watch him go down and see 6 or 8 Secret Service people cover him. And I instantly knew this is the protocol for a shooting of a president. It was that was one of the most tense minute and a halves that I've ever experienced, man. And I immediately texted you guys as it was happening, holy shnikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's shots fired at a Trump rally.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody else in the group text had seen it yet. I mean, who's watching a Trump rally on a Saturday, really?
No, I went over to immediately, when you said it, because I was first off, come on, really? It was like, security's so tight. How can this happen? And that was what was going through my mind as I was going over to the channel. And then I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible.
It took 45 minutes from the time Pete told us to the time they started reporting. I do want to say that. That was like incredible lag time, I thought.
Well, CNN was, as soon as
first,
I got it, CNN was on it pretty quick. So, I mean, I got there pretty quick with the CNN.
Did you see their headlines, though? Did you see some of their headlines?
They troll those headlines.
They blew it so hard. I mean, it was one of the big headlines that everybody was sharing, and they did go back and amend this later, I believe. But it was Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls.
Yeah.
It was so obvious from the beginning. And you see, there were emails circulating to news people saying, don't call these gunshots. We don't know yet. It was very obvious to anybody who's ever heard a gun that these were gunshots.
I can tell you, everybody there, I mean, and they didn't start talking about the other person that got shot until well after.
Yeah.
The person that unfortunately lost their life. They didn't talk about that person.
I took that as respect to the family.
Until very much later. Yeah. But, I mean, they never did release the name on that day.
So sad, though. God, he was shielding his family. Jeez, guys.
Yeah. That was so horrible.
Well, and I saw some interviews of people on the ground that were like, saw the guy crawling across.
Right.
And he's like, it's right there.
And they're trying to tell cops. They're trying to tell Secret Service guys. And my thought process on that was, Secret Service is trying to coordinate with local police. They don't have much time to coordinate with local police. They're not sitting there in many meetings. They probably have 1 or 2 meetings before something like this, right? So the cops don't necessarily know all the positions of the Secret Service snipers. So when you tell a local cop, hey, there's a guy on the roof with a sniper rifle, first thing that a cop probably thinks is, yeah, buddy, that's the Secret Service. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Right? He's probably not thinking there's an actual threat. It's something like this. Because the Secret Service they clear a whole perimeter out. They go through all these areas in depth. They probably had cleared out every single building that was there hours before this rally started. But this kid was just able to find his way in there at some point without being detected.
Yeah, and it looked like he had to crawl pretty good ways to get into position. So,
right.
I mean, like the person on the ground was saying, he was actually crawling across the roof.
Right.
When they're like, hey.
But with that roof being slanted, and apparently that roof was slightly higher than the Secret Service position, right? They could not see him until he popped his head over. And who knows where those Secret Service guys were actually looking at that very second when he popped his head out and attempted to take that shot, man.
And they got to decipher if that's a local person, you know what I mean? Like a local officer versus it's actually somebody that's a terrorist. So that's something they have to weed out in that situation.
Yeah.
And Bobby said in the comments, and this is immediately what I thought of when I saw the Secret Service jump on top of Trump.
Yeah.
You know, it reminded me so much, and you guys are probably too young to remember the Reagan.
Reagan. Yeah.
I'm
the
too
Reagan
young.
incident. So
Finally.
you know, and,
Sorry.
but I mean, I remember it very clearly. I was headed to baseball practice when it happened with Reagan, but with Reagan, they seemed to react a lot quicker than what I saw in this situation. I mean, it was it looked like everyone was a little confused at first. There was one guy who came from a long way away who was like actually the first one to him,
Wow.
and he wasn't even the closest person.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, if you watch it, you'll see this guy who's just jumping, you know, from way back. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, just to cover him up, you know. But you got to give those guys credit. I mean, they literally are sacrificing their body to save.
Yeah. That's
to
the
save-
job.
to
Yeah.
save it. So
Yeah, that's a job, and they know that going in. I mean, you probably don't think you're ever going to have to actually do that, but that is 90% of what that job calls for. Is if somebody is going after the president or the former president of the United States, it is your job to be a human shield.
Mm.
And I think, you know, there's a lot of criticism on Secret Service and things like that. I think a lot of reports that they were a little understaffed, and maybe have been for a while. And I mean, to their credit, I think, you know, it seemed like there were Secret Service people standing at the bottom of the steps on each side to him.
Mhm.
It looked to me like they got there as fast as they possibly could when they figured out what was going on.
and I'll tell you this, I actually didn't realize as he was our president, he's not our president, how much detail they actually have for somebody who's not our president.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
I thought the numbers were impressive with that being said. You know, so you know, I'm glad, you know, President Trump's okay. Yes, and it is President Trump because he was once president,
Yeah.
so they're always
Yep.
president.
Yep.
You know, so I you know, just a really sad day, and I mean, sounds like it was just a very young person who was having a mental issue.
Well, it's a scary day, and let's be very, very honest. With the height of what's being called the political temperature right now,
Mm.
if this would have been a successful attempt, I think we are living in a world right now that is very, very different. Because there are a lot of people who wholly support the former president, and would absolutely, whether true or not, would have believed that this was an inside job, and they would have taken to the streets. People would be in the streets by the hundreds of thousands today.
Yeah, that is the temperature.
And, I mean, that is the temperature.
Well,
and
like I can tell you, I'm not a Trump fan, but the man did not flinch. He stood up. He looked strong, and I you know, I got to give the man credit. I mean, he just got shot in the
100%.
one of the most badass moments in American
ear. You
history.
know, and I mean, you know, I heard one of the things say, "Oh, he's the toughest president we've ever had." Come on, let's not go that far. Andrew Jackson went through 37 duels.
Oh,
He
cheekbones.
he got shot in the chest. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
let's not give him. Let's not give him.
But still,
all
in
victory.
our
But I can tell you
generation,
right
Those
now-
bullets were different back then, Troy. Okay, I'm just
God.
telling you. Yeah.
Oh, God.
they're bigger and fatter and more infected. But you know, I think at one point on the radio show, I made fun of him about being a homeschool, private school guy who went to
Okay.
like these private parochial schools. Probably never been in a fist fight in his life, but I'm telling you, he looked like a tough guy,
Bro.
and he manned up and he got my credit.
Most
the other day.
people, and I think most people expected what most people's reaction would be, and that was to cower and hide behind Secret Services. They escort you off. And I mean, for him to stand there, and as they were trying to get him off the stage, he's like, hang on, let me get my shoes. Got to get my shoes. And then to speak to the crowd, to kind of fire up that crowd out there.
We were going
And
USA, chanting USA.
with
Yeah.
the USA chants and telling everybody to fight with blood dripping down his face. I mean, I told lots of people over the weekend that now iconic photo of him with the American flag in the
Oh, yeah.
background, him holding his fist up, blood dripping down his face, blood coming down his ear. That picture just won him the election. That moment won him the whole election.
I think it was over before this, but I think it
definitely sealed it.
It solidified it.
I was on Twitter for the last couple of days, and I can't tell you how many posts I've seen from so many people across so many political spectrums, across so many demographics, who were saying, I have been a lifelong Democrat. I have never liked this guy. I've never agreed with this guy. But to see that, to see what happened and his reaction to it,
You sure do feel safe.
brought a swell in me that I of American pride that I have never felt before in my life. And a lot of people are now saying, I never voted for him before. I never thought I would have, but there is nobody else that I would vote for after today, after seeing that. And just, I think a lot of people are looking at the contrasts in the two people who are running for president right now. And I mean, you got one guy who can barely survive the steps.
Oh, the only way he's going to get ahead of Trump is if he comes out as a bisexual or something. I mean, it's like I don't see much of this race here.
I don't think that helps him. I don't think that puts him over the edge.
I don't know.
I really don't, man.
I don't see anything. Wild turn.
And someone in the comments said something like, well, why could we see him after the fact? Here's one thing that I think is going to change. And Trump is 6'3". One of the
I know where you're going.
people that was going there was one of the ladies, and she was like 5'5".
Right.
I couldn't tell her exact height.
Right.
But she wasn't completely covering him up.
Yeah.
The other guys on the other side were covering him up. I bet that moving forward, the Secret Service are all going to be equal to his size.
At the very least, if not taller,
and they were trying to cover his head and stuff, and that. So I imagine
I thought she was blocking vital organs.
She was doing what the best she could for her height.
She was,
but he was a head taller than her, so he was exposed.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh gosh, that's probably something that's going to
and again, that job is to be a human shield at that point.
And these women and men, I mean, you just look at them and go, they're badass.
Badass, yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm not taking away. Yeah. I'm not taking away from her bravery or in any way, shape, or form.
And I agree with you on the height thing. I'm not going to be one of the people necessarily right now to jump on the train of, because there's a lot of people saying you shouldn't have women protecting.
No,
I'm not necessarily going to jump on that, but I think you're right. At least have people that are his size that can fully cover him or any other president or former president for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, that needs to be the minimum requirement of the job, because again, your job is to be a human shield. And if you are just not, if you don't have the stature to do that, then you can't do that job.
I mean, I'm only 5'8", and he would look the exact same if I was there.
Right. I wouldn't ask him to hire me.
I'm not saying it's a man or a woman thing. I'm saying it just equal his size to give him that cover. So
how do you guys think this is going to change the narrative in Milwaukee? Is this going to change the party? Is it going to unite the party? What do you think there?
I think the party was. I think the Republican Party knows they have their man.
Yeah. Even Nikki Haley is coming.
The Democratic Party is very fragmented. They're nervous about their guy, and rightfully so. I think the Republican Party is going to be, and this convention is going to be very patriotic. It's going to be like, we got you. You took a bullet for us type situation. And I think it's, I don't think the Democrats stand a chance on election day.
Mm-hmm.
I think when Trump speaks at the RNC, I think, first of all, he's going to get a 20-minute standing ovation. I don't think people are going to sit down and stop clapping for anything. I mean, I think that room is going to be on fire for 20 minutes. And, Trump has said, I've heard reports that people close to Trump are saying now more than ever, he wants to really stress a message of unity. This is not a joke. This is not a game. Of course, Trump is a very smart person, and he's going to use surviving a bullet as political leverage, of course. And he almost doesn't need to. It's almost built in after what happened. But it seems to me like he really wants to, from the reports that I've heard, that he's going to get up there and really talk about peace and unity and coming together. And I think really that's what all politicians need to be doing. at this time. I think the president, you saw the president do that twice on Sunday. He made 3 different speeches about this, one on Saturday evening and 2 on Sunday. And there was a big stressing on lowering that political temperature, for everybody across the board. And I hope everybody jumps on board with that. I really do, because I think you're going to hear that message from Republicans and from Democrats over the next couple of weeks. This also does a couple of things politically for Trump, in addition to so many people coming out and saying, well, this just sealed my vote. This does a couple things for Trump to just look at this on a very surface media level.
Right, yeah.
We're in the media, so we think about things like this. One, this stops the media from saying a bad word about Trump for at least 2 weeks. Trump wins
at least
there.
2 weeks.
It is just poor form to insult the guy who just got shot at and almost had his life ended on national TV.
And the Biden campaign pulled those ads too.
Right, Biden campaign did pull their negative ads. That kind of had that temperature up, if you want to kind of say that.
Yep.
So it does that, and it's the Democrats are in a tough spot right now because they have been saying for so long, this guy is literally evil. He is a threat to our country. He is a threat to democracy. He is a literal threat. And now every single politician, Democrat or Republican, has to come out and say, we wish him the best. We hope he's doing well. We're glad he survived. And you would not say that about somebody that you honestly believed was a genuine threat to the country. You would not say that. So Democrats, by sending their condolences, now are kind of tacitly admitting, okay, he's not that bad of a guy. He's not. And you really can't read that any other way.
Well, I don't know if he's not that bad of a guy. I'm not going to go that far, but I can tell you this.
Every leader in the world wouldn't come out and say that we wish a bad guy well.
No. Well, I can tell you, he proved to me he's a strong leader and a strong guy, which is what we need. I don't necessarily need to have the nicest guy in the room. Right. And I definitely don't think he's that.
Do you think?
But I can tell you, it did change the way I looked at Trump, because I was against both of them, and I still don't know what I'm going to do as far as my vote. I'm still thinking I'm not going to vote, but I can tell you, it definitely made me go, all right, he's got some badass in him.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a Gen Xer.
Yeah,
right.
If I'm giving him that,
right.
If I'm giving him that, you earn those points for me.
And do you think that this very near-death experience changes any of his tone, his attitude, some of that rhetoric going forward? Do you think he's a little more grateful for life? Do you think maybe he? I think it's hard not to, though. I think that's
he's going to stay this course.
I think he'll always be him. I think he will always be, have very strong words for what he believes in. But boy, coming that close to death, President Trump, whoever it is, that changes. That you cannot help but be changed in some way.
I can tell you
by
this.
something like
I think
that.
there's 2 Trumps. I think there's the internal Trump, which is completely going to change him and how he looks at things, how he hugs his family, how he does those things, and that appreciation. And then I think there's the public persona of President Trump. And I believe he understands that role where he has to be the Andrew Jackson, the Teddy Roosevelt. He has to be the, stand strong person. So I think, yes, it changes the one, but it makes the other one stronger. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I
get where you're going.
I think that's, the inner perspective, the inner circle, I think it changes Trump. The exterior persona that we see, I think it changes Trump in a stronger lean into it type motion. Like Davey was saying, I think he leans into it.
He's a very, quote, get over it kind of a person. And I've seen him as he's reacted to some tragedies. He really is a 1, 2, 3, get over it. I mean, I'm not that can be a negative or positive. It's just who he is. So I can see him just barreling right through this and being like, this is what we need as a country, is to rally together and barrel through these hard times.
Well, yeah, and you said it, rally together. I mean, does this change? Of course, you got to be the president. You got to be tough in front of other nations. Yes, of course. You've got to be tough in front of your political, I hate to even use the word enemies today, your political opponents.
Yeah.
Here in this country, of course. But as a human, does he tone down some of that rhetoric that he aims towards his opponents in this country? I hope everybody does. To be honest with you, I hope everybody does.
The narrative
this is a real learning lesson for all politicians.
I hope you're right.
Me too.
I hope you're right. I hope, Sanctimonious and all his negative names that he throws at people. And the thing I don't understand is, why does Trump get away with that? But if a news person who has freedom of speech, as soon as they say something negative about a person, then they're the woke society runs them out of the city. But when Trump says it, it's like, oh, he's so funny. No, he's not. It's not funny. These are Americans. These are people that are on the same side as you. It's not funny. So I'm hoping he gets that part. But the one thing I want to talk, I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Congressman Scalise. Now, Scalise is the one who got shot on the baseball field. Yeah. And I felt like his interview right after that, and I think it was actually on Fox is where that one was at. But it was a great interview, and he's like, listen, this is a time where we gotta figure out this political attack stuff and get stuff done. So, hopefully Trump listens to that speech too, and some of the people around him, like, okay, let's work for solutions and not tearing people down.
Yeah. Yeah. I know him and Scalise are close.
Yeah.
So I went to get back to kind of the RNC that's kicking off today. I went to one of these events when it was in DC some years back, and we were press, so it was kind of a different experience for us than it is for most people who buy a ticket and attend and things like that. But everybody has to go through the same security procedures. And on most days when it's congressmen, it's your kind of conservative social media influencers and things like that, there's security, there's a wand down, there's a pat down, there's metal detectors. But once the vice president or the president shows up to an event like this, if it's the day where the vice president or the president is set to be there, they're sweeping the entire place. I mean, there's not an inch of that place that the Secret Service doesn't put an eyeball on when nobody else is allowed in there. And then the security measures just to get in are, ramped up 100 times. I mean, you now have lines. You have to stay in these lines, almost like bank lines, how those are kind of roped off.
Queues, yeah.
Yep, queues. They've got those where they don't have those on other day. You're getting Secret Service full pat downs. I mean, these are not the lazy TSA pat downs. You're getting full Secret Service pat downs. They've got multiple metal detectors. They've got bomb dogs sniffing you multiple times before you even get to the metal detectors. I mean, security is heavy, heavy, heavy. So I would not anticipate somebody trying something like this at the Republican convention. I don't think they would ever get the opportunity. You're in an enclosed building where Secret Service controls every single person that comes in and out of there, no matter what. I think Republicans are probably feeling pretty safe at something like that. And I would have to imagine, even though President Biden said we're not making any changes to the security protocol at the RNC, that people higher up in the RNC will be making different, whether that's bringing in more private security in addition to the Secret
from
Service.
Communities,
you're naturally going to be on a higher alert. To say that you're not doing anything, it already mentally has changed everybody who's in the building's mindset.
Yes, it's on everybody's mind that walks into that building.
In the building's mindset has completely changed. Who's walking in there today differently than what it would have been like last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's a natural human nature thing. Everybody's going to be on on high alert, and their eyes are going to be in every different direction. And when someone says there's somebody on the roof, you know what? It's going to be taken for real more than any other time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. This is going to be one of the most secure places to be. And I'm not sure when Trump goes on stage. I know
later this week. I think it's Thursday, maybe.
I would imagine that you want to save kind of your headliners, kind of like a show. You want to save your headliner for the end. And Trump's got to be one of the top people that folks are looking for. Right. I did see that he departed yesterday around 3:30.
Yeah.
Saw some videos from Donald Trump Jr.'s Twitter.
Me too. Yeah.
Of them landing, kind of the response they got from military members down there. And I mean, for as much as I've bashed Twitter was the place to get your news. Twitter was the X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I still call it Twitter. X. X still sounds stupid to me. It really does.
I know. He actually endorsed fully Trump over the weekend.
Oh, he did. He did. It didn't take him too long to do that.
Right.
But yeah, and a lot of people, you saw that on X a lot, in addition to a lot of the news that was coming out first on X. You saw a lot of people saying, I am no longer scared to say I fully endorse President Trump.
Right.
And a lot of people that you wouldn't expect to come out and do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if you saw 50 Cent. 50 Cent was obviously getting tagged a lot on Saturday because of the song Many Men, right?
Yeah, good one.
And so apparently 50 Cent had a show that night, and on the big Jumbotron behind him, he had a picture of his Get Rich or Die Trying album with Trump's face photoshopped over his face. And he did the Many Men song. He did that as kind of a tribute.
Wow.
So, boy, when you see so many people that you would just never expect to come out and fully endorse Donald Trump.
It makes me laugh because you remember last time Trump ran and music was such a controversial thing, but he was using in his campaign and everything. I wonder if this is going to be the new campaign song.
You know what?
Wouldn't that be badass? Like,
that would be actually pretty badass.
Yeah.
That if he came out to that once, there's the picture. I think that is actually a screenshot from his concert.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Man. And then there were the AI videos of Trump actually singing that song. I don't know if you guys saw that, but
I love the Matrix one.
Oh, the Matrix memes where he's
leaning back.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Jeez.
And it's we make jokes about it because that's kind of what we do on this show, but I cannot stress again the seriousness of where this country would be today if that was a successful attempt. I mean, we're already in a different world with consequences we know nothing about just yet. I mean, there's no way something like this happens and the United States and much of the world doesn't change in some way from it. But if that would have been successful, we would be in a much more hectic Monday today across the United States.
Yes, sir.
So President Trump didn't just dodge a bullet, but the entire country dodged a bullet on Saturday. It's horrifying to watch.
Horrifying.
And it was very emotional for a lot of people. I'm not a crier, but I felt the sensation to weep watching what was happening and then watching him stand up and pump his fist in the air with blood dripping down his face. It was a strong moment, man. It was a very, very strong moment. But that's kind of my take on it. It's kind of our take on it. It'll be very, very interesting to see what the coming weeks hold. I was getting ready to put out a press release for Florida Man Games. And I was talking to Kara, who does the press releases. And I said, let's put out a press release Monday morning because no news happens over the weekend. People are anxious to pick up a story. And as soon as this happened, I emailed her. I said, let's wait a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to touch this story.
Let's hold that one.
Nobody is going to touch the Florida Man Games story after what just happened over the weekend. So I will say no matter where I stand, no matter where you stand, very thankful for our entire country that President Trump is still alive today.
And let's stand together, piggybacking off of your stand comment.
We're all,
we need to come together and stop all this garbage.
Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, you're American.
Yeah.
And that you're that first.
Yes.
The other things are secondary. And people need to understand that first.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, man. And if we stop becoming Americans and we start fighting with each other, We're in a very, very bad place.
Yeah.
And a place that we are not coming back from. And people can say they're prepared for that, but nobody is prepared for that.
Mm-mm.
None of us have ever been through something like that in our lives, and it is a violent, terrible place to be.
Mhm.
And none of us want things to get to that point. Okay. Moving on to local news.
Okay,
All right.
here we go.
Thompson Thrift going to be building an apartment community at the former St. Augustine Outlets
Oh, here it is.
right down the road. This
Okay.
looks like it's finally happening. They've officially announced plans to develop a 324 unit multifamily community called Terrassa
Oh, how beautiful. That sounds nice.
at the former site of the St. Augustine Outlets,
Doesn't
the
that just
indoor
mean
one.
dirt?
Terraza?
Terraza.
Terrassa. Well, I hope not. That would
No,
really
tierra is dirt in Spanish. Like tierra, that's the land. Yeah. Terraza, I'll find
Okay.
out.
It's going to feature homes ranging from 1 to 3 bedrooms up to 1,400 square feet in size. Construction going to be set to begin this month, they say, and complete by the fall of 2026. That's a nice pool.
Isn't it?
Terrassa is a city in central eastern Catalonia, which is in just outside of Barcelona, Spain.
Okay.
Terraza. T-E-R-R.
ASSA. Terrassa. You have to roll the R.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you put in what does it mean?
We will do that.
Because the city got its name from something too.
What is?
Maybe it was John Terrassa.
He got his name from something.
I'm sorry, Juan Terrassa. You know, so you never know.
Oh, it means to share. So sharing.
There you go.
To
Yeah.
share.
That's
Very
more
nice.
loving.
Where we all
Very
need to be
nice.
in this country right
There it
now.
is.
Very
Terrassa.
fitting. Thompson Thrift has acquired the property. Back in 2021, the county approved plans for the property to include up to 350 multifamily homes and 99,500 square feet of retail space. It's been a little while, but it
Been a
looks
long
like
time,
we're finally
yeah.
moving on this. Yeah.
Okay, good.
State Fire Marshal is investigating a St. Johns County house fire as well. The State Fire Marshal is investigating a fire that broke out in St. Augustine on Saturday afternoon. St. Johns County Fire Rescue responded to the incident on River Point Court, where they found the house fully engulfed in flames.
Oh, no.
Very scary. Engine 3 arrived to find heavy fire showing from the front and side of the home. Due to the lack of fire hydrants in the area, firefighters had to set up a shuttle operation. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. Wow. Yeah, that's the entire house. They've got pictures up on it right now. Thank you guys
Whoa.
for that. Yeah. That is. Whew.
Oh, they got a screened in Lanai. That's my dream.
Well,
So
it's,
nice.
I'm sure you can get a good price on this one, Davey.
Maybe, yeah.
Jeez.
God bless.
Little fixer upper.
Right.
yeah.
Smells like ceder.
Needs a little TLC. Little TLC needed there for that one.
Oh.
Nice open lot.
Yeah.
Pull in the RV.
Very customizable. Convertible roof.
Yeah. You can put tents
Lots
in the
of
back.
skylights.
Big
Yeah.
skylight.
Yeah. So very scary, but glad nobody was reported injured. That's
Yeah.
always the.
They say anything on cause or
that's
anything?
the- I don't have anything on cause right here, but I'm sure we'll
Dog jump up on the
have
stove
more.
like last
I
week.
know, right? That's the first thing we all started thinking right
Yeah.
after hearing that
Yep.
story from
Man,
last
was
week.
I cognizant on what was on my stove from that story
Right?
last week.
Right. All right, man. Let's go to the Gas Buddy Gas Report. We will do this real quick. If you are seeing good prices for gas, please let us know in the comments. It would be very much appreciated. At the top of the list today, it's the Sunoco at $21.99. North Ponce, they are at $3.29. We've got the Shell at 146 King Street. They're at $3.32 this morning. The Gate at 4075 US 1 North is at $3.34. The Shell at 216 Ponce de Leon Boulevard, $3.34 as well. The Circle K at 4564 US 1 North, $3.34. The Owens at 780 South Ponce, $3.34. It's all $3.34 this morning until we get to the Sunoco at 450 South Ponce. They're at $3.35. The Sicko at 1099 South Ponce is at $3.39. And then the Gate on Mizell Road, woo, $3.57.
Ooh.
$3.57. That comes to us from Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. If you or someone you know is in trouble with the law, let Chris get you out. Very easy phone call. Easy to remember. 904-822-BAIL. That's 904-822-2245. A little bit of music to report to you here today. Jim Lamb at the Milltop Tavern at noon. Reggie Starrett and Mark Hart at Trade Winds at 1 o'clock. We've got Josh Tennessee Worthy at the Milltop at 4:30. Stu Weaver Harry's at 6 o'clock, and Sam Passetti at Prohibition Kitchen, also at 6 o'clock. Comes to us, of course, from Griffin Service, where your home's comfort is their top priority at Griffin. They specialize in AC, plumbing, and electrical services, and they offer unique offerings like standby generators, water softeners, and they do gas work for your outdoor kitchens, your fireplaces, your fire pits, your pool heaters. Fast, friendly, and affordable service, and they even text you and let you know who your mechanic or who your tech will be before they show up, that is a great service.
It is awesome.
Yeah. They're available for you 7 days a week. Call them at 904-500-2653 or visit griffinservice.com and see the Grifference. Moronic Monday has to do with Kim Kardashian and... Close your ears, kids. Has to do with Kim Kardashian and sperm.
Oh, yeah, this is a really cool facial.
Yeah, literally. But before we get into that, talk about Fidus Roofing. There we go. Your local go-to for
Speaking of gutters,
right. Your local go-to for 15 years, and guess what? All their people live right here in St. Johns County. They're also master elite contractors, which means they can offer warranties that nobody else can touch. They love our community and they love you, so you know you're in good hands. Fidus Roofing, 904-355-ROOF.
They do pavers
And gutters.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Kim Kardashian reveals she got salmon sperm injected into her face.
really good.
She'll just inject anything into her face, won't she? My God, this woman.
what team
Leave
does
your
he play
face
for?
alone.
She looks great.
Oh, God.
This improves skin, hydration, plumpness, texture, and wrinkles.
Okay.
Tim Salmon used to be the center fielder for the Angels.
Yes.
Tim Salmon?
That was his name.
Yeah.
100%.
Now I really get what you're putting down. Jeez, oh man.
I'm not putting anything down, Dave. Stop putting that on.
Probably too old for her. Kim Kardashian is once again making headlines for her bold approach to anti-aging treatments. On the latest episode of The Kardashians, a show I've never seen one episode
Still
of.
on the air?
It's
I know,
so
right?
good. Now it's on Hulu. Yeah.
Oh, God. Kardashian revealed to her mom, Kris Jenner, that she tried salmon sperm facials.
Yes.
Salmon
it.
sperm injected into her face. While Kim didn't comment on the results, she's not the only celebrity to experiment with this unusual treatment. Okay,
Who
Jennifer.
talks you into that?
I don't know, but I'm
rich
emailing my-
Hollywood doctors who want to make a lot of money.
And who harvests this?
That's a good question. Same people that harvest the anal glands of a beaver, I think, for vanilla. She didn't comment on the results, but Jennifer Aniston has also tried this.
Oh, your
She shared her
girlfriend.
experience,
Yeah, you
right?
love her.
I'm not
Well,
hating on
yeah.
her.
Oh,
Yeah,
so granola.
can't hate on her.
Not hating on her.
She said she wasn't sure if it made a difference. Didn't know if it, but she did it
beige.
anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, what is your problem with Jennifer Aniston?
There's just nothing there for me. It's just flat. I don't see anything but her. Ugh.
Because you're more into Joey.
Not really. He was all right. I mean, yeah.
How you doing?
He's a butterface.
She looks great.
Oh,
She looks great.
like a beige oatmeal.
Experts say salmon sperm facials can improve skin hydration, texture, and reduce wrinkles due to the high levels of DNA and amino acids. Yeah, lots of DNA. However, there's limited research on its effectiveness, and it's best to consult with a dermatologist before trying it yourself.
I just messaged at least med spa. I'm finding out. I'll get
They
to the
have
bottom
it?
of it. I'm going to ask.
I mean, they may, if
Tracy will
anybody
tell
in
me.
town has it,
Tracy will tell me.
yeah,
Yep. Very excited.
They would have the treatments of the stars for sure down there. Wow. This brings a whole new meaning to the word fish face.
Yeah. Sweeping the nation. It's so
Yeah.
good.
From fish face to salt life.
Nice
Wow.
segue. That was great.
I guess we could have gone from sperm to salt life too, but either way. Salt Life to close Florida stores, including the St. Augustine store, if a buyer is not found for the parent company.
Oh, no.
Salt Life may close several Florida stores if Delta Apparel does not find a buyer. Delta Apparel currently undergoing Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Uh-oh.
They've notified the state of potential closures, which could affect 16 stores and lead to 98 job cuts by August 29th. Company plans to sell the 28 Salt Life stores in a bankruptcy auction on August 20th.
Wow.
Yeah, if you want to buy a dying
Not
brand.
the restaurants, though, just the
Not
stores.
the restaurants. This is just the kind of the surf apparel stores. Yeah.
Is Delta Apparel a part of New Era?
It's a good
I thought
question.
the
I don't
hat
know.
company was keeping I thought the hat company was supporting it for the most part anyway.
Okay.
So I know there's some association with some big hat company along with Salt Life.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but I know it does not affect the.
The
Restaurant.
restaurant. Yeah.
the restaurant is licenses the name from the actual owner of Salt
Mhm.
Life. So it's just a licensing with the name.
Yeah, which Delta Apparel is probably doing as well, right? So Delta Apparel may go out of business, but the Salt Life brand could still be licensable to another
it's the
apparel
other-
company.
I think it's the other way.
Okay.
around.
Is it the other way around?
I think it's the other way around.
Maybe.
So New Life and Delta Apparel are nothing alike. So the Delta Apparel does not own New Era. So
Okay.
I think New Era is its own company.
Yeah, New Era. New Era was at one point. New Era was the mother company of because they break it up. So
Okay.
when I was doing the NASCAR stuff, I knew that.
I remember it was such a big deal when I moved here. Salt Life was everywhere.
And
It's like,
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
original owners of Salt Life,
Was it murderer?
Big trouble, yeah,
murderer
something?
Yeah.
yeah.
I think he murdered his wife or something.
Or
Like
a
Yeah.
nice lady.
That couldn't have helped the Salt Life stop.
I'm pretty
Probably
sure
not.
that didn't help the brand,
I don't think so.
even though he had sold out years earlier. but-
Yeah, right. He was still connected. Something. Yeah.
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 Weird.
So pretty soon you won't be able to buy Salt Life stuff. Not that anyone really does anymore anyway.
You ever see Swamp Life? I guess that's like their competitor.
Yeah.
They're racking it in.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people started doing Life.
Yeah, something Life.
Something Life after
Yeah.
Salt Life. I mean, they really started that trend of all the lives.
Troy Life.
Belvin's Life.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's Troy's new apparel company, Belvin's Life.
Ooh, Lewis Life. Yeah.
There you go, Lewis Life.
No one wants that.
Oh.
All right, our last story today, community members show out to support Jacksonville and St. John's law enforcement in Ponte Vedra. They say the community came together Saturday to show appreciation for local law enforcement. Flags were waving as residents expressed their gratitude for the men and women who keep us safe every day. Event organizer Greg Keller highlighted the importance of recognizing law enforcement efforts, saying a lot of times people take them for granted and they don't appreciate law enforcement until they need them. It's nice to tell them thank you. We don't need you right now, but we appreciate everything you do. The event saw strong support for both the St. Johns County and Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, with both Sheriff T.K. Waters of Jacksonville and Sheriff Rob Hardwick of St. Johns County in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
Sheriff Waters emphasized how community appreciation events can boost recruitment, help attract new deputies from all over the country. He says, I think it leads hugely to us being able to bring in people to the agency from all over the place. Sheriff Hardwick also noted the benefits of these events in strengthening relationships between law enforcement agencies, which enhances their collaborative efforts in fighting crime across county lines. So that's a great thing. Good on you, Greg, for organizing this and showing you and everybody out there support for the men and women of law enforcement. They really do put their lives on the line every day for you and I. And it is sometimes a thankless job. So it's great to see these things happen. Troy, how do you want to go through the comments, man?
I want to meander mindfully through the maze of masterful commentary.
All right. As you do that, I'll remind everybody that Bates, Hewitt & Floyd, not your average insurance agency. They provide peace of mind and insurance to protect your biggest investments. Their approach to insurance and risk longevity in our community and the way they treat their clients sets them apart from all the rest. They offer homeowners, auto, commercial, and benefits, and they've been doing that for over 50 years. Christy Lawrenson is St. Augustine's premier agent, and she offers complimentary policy reviews and has a deep understanding of insurance and what is needed in St. Augustine to be properly insured. Her attention to detail and organizational skills have found policy errors and cost savings where others have not. Give them a call, 904-794-5455, to schedule your appointment. And our friends at BNS Signs, they've been doing it since 1967. Supplying St. Augustine and the surrounding region with high-quality signs that help you stand out and transform your business. Do just that today by visiting them at bnssigns.com or by calling 824-3323 DNS Signs. They're our go-to sign company. What you got, Troy?
All right. So Wawa was at 340. Costco was at 304. Thank you, Tim. Hopefully Christie was the insurance agent for that fire over there. So
Yeah,
they know
right.
they're in good hands. Tim and I started quoting Lee Greenwood songs in the middle of everything there.
Okay.
And someone said there's lots of videos of Kim getting facials. So I don't know what that means. So
Okay. All right. There are.
There are.
It's what made her famous.
Yeah.
It is what made
It
her
is
famous.
truly. Shattered the glass ceiling.
Ooh.
and that's what it did.
Stardom stat.
All right. Stardom stat 1997. Andrew Cunanan actually murdered Versace on this day in 1997.
God, do
He
we
was-
miss Johnny? We miss him so much in the industry. Oh my God.
Yeah, just-
my Johnny.
Yes. But this guy just absolutely went off the reservation on his murder spree. If you watch
Typical
that
angry queen.
If you watch that documentary, you're just like, talk about somebody who absolutely lost it. Because I mean,
You're weak, Andrew. You're weak.
and he murdered like 6 people
mad.
before he even got to Versace, and he was found in a houseboat about 2 miles away from Versace's house, where he had killed himself 4 days later.
Jerk.
But I mean, just it's a good documentary to watch, but it is very dark.
Yeah, very dark.
Miss you, Versace.
Miss
I
you.
have never heard Davey so passionate about a Stardom stat. Wow.
I only have one Versace shirt, and I love it.
Oh, good. Yeah, you hold on to that for life.
Yeah.
Especially if it was Johnny, not Donatella. That's just
Not
a whole
Donatella.
different.
No,
Yeah,
no.
not a new face over there.
No.
Oh yeah. Talk about salmon facial, please.
I have no Versace clothing.
None?
Yeah.
None.
Versace.
No. Yeah.
Versace.
You have to say Versace. It's not Versace. It's Versace.
Versace.
Yeah. Teaching the 904.
All right, that comes to us from St. Augie's Pizza. I know how to say that.
Yeah,
St.
buddy.
Augie's Pizza. Downtown St. Augustine, right between Ribeira and ML King. Check them out today. Get yourself a few slices. Plugs, Troy.
Just hey, everybody, just take what happened over the weekend and just absorb it and be nice. I mean, the divide between Republicans and Democrats is so strong. We're Americans first.
Be compassionate. I think that's the word we need to do. We also have a huge, awesome, and friendly, fabulous show with the Wildflower Healthcare Group coming in, doing some great updates for our community. You guys are going to love this show at 3.
Sweet. Thank you, guys. Go to thefloridamangames.com. Take care of each other. We'll talk to you this afternoon.
Bye-bye.